Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play the Confines of the Crown, where we're going to be continuing on. We last left off with a really dramatic exchange going on where where we were trying to rescue the princess, and it turns out that our plan already has gone awry. And the culprit seems to be that servant girl, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, something feels off, because now I actually went I wish I'd done this before, but I finally made time to go back and rewatch my previous streams of this game. So now I'm like, oh, I had totally forgotten a few very important things. Like, I had forgotten that I was thinking, or it seemed at least, even Madeline was thinking, that the princess had actually run away or, like, arranged for her own kidnapping or something. So now I'm like, maybe that's why this servant is involved. Maybe they were in on it together. And that's probably also why the prince wants to handle it himself and doesn't want to get, like, the guards or his the king and queen involved or whatever. So, methinks life in the castle was not a very happy one. And also, I had forgotten that I had given Oscar a British accent. Oh, okay. Well, I think it's fine if I don't do that anymore anyway, because having him be the only one with a British accent is kind of weird anyway. So I'll just keep doing what I did with the last 2 episodes, okay? Alright, so let's continue on. Okay. And then, quite unexpectedly, I hear a shout. It's Oscar. Somehow or other, he must have gotten himself loose from his predicament and tried to catch up with us, only to find himself directly in Dolores's escape path. He's not bigger or faster than she is, but he is there, and she can't swerve away in time. In one desperate leap, he tackles her to the ground, but that doesn't bring an end to it. Wrestling is not a sport that ever held Oscar's interest. With an angry woman in his grasp, a woman who has no qualms about using her knees and her teeth, he is completely ineffectual. A few painful, for him, moments later, and she has struggled free, but by that point it is too late. Oh, here we go. Callum's angry. Callum has a hand in her hair and an arm around her neck.
This is the only payment you'll receive.
Her eyes bulge as the pressure around her neck increases. Wait, we gotta hear an explanation. Don't just kill her.
Stop, don't kill her.
I told you I wouldn't murder for you. We've caught her. That's enough.
A traitor deserves death.
So tie her up and bring her back to stand trial.
Looks like you haven't told them.
Her eyes roll back into her head and she sags in Callum's grip.
No! She's only unconscious.
He takes a deep breath and lets it out.
Well, so be it. Tie her up if that's what you want. We have to get back to Cass.
Between us, Oscar and I handle Dolores's limp body, binding her with the discarded silk scarf. She's not a very substantial woman, more wiry than bulky, and easy enough for the 2 of us to carry. So, Dolores was the mastermind all along? Could she really have overpowered Oscar and sprinted off Cassidy all by herself? I saw them struggling here in the forest. I can imagine she'd get the better of him eventually in a brawl. But disabling him too quickly to cry out? And then dragging the princess away, keeping her hidden, leading me on a merry dance, spying on Callum, setting up a ransom exchange. That's a lot to manage for a rough-spoken girl who's never progressed past the rank of page. There must be more to her story than I'm seeing. Who sponsored her to royal service? Why hasn't she been either advanced or dismissed? Yes, big mystery about this girl. She is someone's agent, I'm sure. Or I'm certain. But whose and what is their part in this? And yet, Callum insisted that she was working alone, and motivated by gold, not by politics. And the last thing Dolores said was that Callum hadn't told us the whole story. Could she be his agent and turned on him? That might explain why he was so angry at her for being a traitor, except he said that he didn't know why she hadn't been dismissed either. I may have some questions for that woman when she wakes up, but in the meantime we have a princess to rescue. We return to where we first spotted that telltale glimpse of pink fabric in the forest. There Cassidy lies, quiet and unmoving, at the base of a tree. Not a fairy tale girl in a glass coffin. This princess's hair and clothes have been snagged by leaf and twig. Her shoes are gone, her stockings horribly stained, and she's tied and blindfolded with more of those silk scarves. Seems like she really was kidnapped then? There's a lot of, mixed clues going on here. And I don't know if, depending on the route that you're on, does the story change? Or is there always a consistent explanation?
Is she alright?
Do you have any hartshorn spirits? There is a faint moaning noise, and Cassidy's head shifts.
She's awake.
Get her untied and sitting up, carefully. Callum hangs back while Oscar and I help Cassidy to her feet and remove the blindfold.
What?
Her reaction and the music make me wonder again.
It's alright. You're safe now.
We've captured the woman who kidnapped you.
Safe, but...
She ducks behind Oscar and raises a trembling hand.
He's the one that kidnapped me.
Oh?
She's pointing at Callum? You stole Princess Cassidy? No, not exactly. That is not Princess Cassidy.
What? What are you saying?
I would like to introduce you to my brother, Prince Caspian.
Whoa! Whoa! Are... Sorry. Oh my god. Okay, we're doing this. So... The one who supposedly died was Prince Caspian, but all along he's been having to pretend to be his sister, so she died? Oh my god. What? Sorry. Oh, I'm so... love it. Oscar takes a step backwards, sheltering Cassidy. Or is it Caspian behind him?
You are mad. It was you who attacked us in the garden.
Is Callum our enemy, or is he telling the truth? Oh... Well... What choice is this? Let me see. 9. So this is the 10th choice. Okay. Okay. The thing is... I know I'm on Oscar's route, but I want to hear the explanation, dang it! If I choose let Callum explain, is that gonna lose me points with Oscar? I really want to hear the explanation. Let's not get too excited here. We're all supposed to be friends. Callum, do you want to explain what in the world you're talking about?
You would think, with the years I've spent planning for this moment, I would have a better idea of what to say. This isn't how I meant it to turn out. Your prince is right. I did attack him in the garden, but only him. I would never have hurt Cass. I just wanted to talk to him alone.
If you wanted to talk to Oscar alone, why did you make me go with you?
You really don't remember anything, do you?
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand. So, Callum, you're saying that that is your brother, Caspian?
Yes.
I am not. And you took her, or him, from the dance last night because you wanted to talk to her?
Yes.
Then how did Dolores get involved in this?
I left Cass in my rooms alone while I waited for the fuss to die down. That thieving page must have somehow found him there and decided to grasp the advantage. I should never have left you alone.
What? You're sorry that someone else kidnapped the princess after you had properly kidnapped her first?
You may have found some crumb of courage, but you are still a fool. I was willing to risk anything for my goal, except Cass's safety.
What goal?
Saving my little brother, who was stolen from me all those years ago.
What the heck is going on?
I'm very sorry, but you're delusional. I am not Caspian. Prince Caspian died when I was a baby. That's what everyone believes. That doesn't mean it's the truth.
I assume there's a story behind this? Why are you listening to anything he says? He lied to us. He attacked us. He forced you. I'm listening to him because I want to understand what's going on. Wisdom before judgment. And whose wisdom do you think you are? Oh, Oscar, no. I chose this choice because I wanted answers.
What? No, she's right. We should talk about this calmly. Once we all understand what we're thinking and feeling, then we can come to a solution that benefits everyone. But if you please, I'd like to sit down.
Of course, you should rest.
He gallantly sweeps a patch of grass free of twigs and beetles. You're very kind.
So is that really your boy? The yaoi potential. Like, does he know that he's male? And it's just been trained to ignore that fact? Or, like, what's going on here? I'm so intrigued.
Once they've settled themselves, Callum begins his tale. Cass was my little brother, and the closest person to me in the world. All of our other siblings were much older, men in the making. In the meanwhile, our royal parents seemed to have little interest in their youngest offspring. I know now why it was, but at the time it never occurred to me to question. My life was the nursery, my toys, my minders, and my baby brother who trusted me in everything. Then they came and took Cass away. They said he was ill, that he was coming down with the plague and had to be quarantined with special nurses. I never saw him again. It was half a year later that they told me he was dead. But if he was ill and we were always together, why was I fine? If he had to be confined, why not me?
And that's it? That's your reason for believing that Cassidy is Caspian?
Of course not. At the time, that was my reason for believing that life was unfair and would always be so. I wasn't interested in my new little sister. I didn't want a replacement for Cass, so I didn't think about the princess. But that baby grew older, and still she never came to the nursery. Years, and I never saw her once. Sometimes I wondered if I were the one with the plague, who had to be kept away from my siblings. And then I was old enough that my parents were forced to give me my own rooms and full-time tutors.
And once you were gone, then they took the nursery for the princess.
I suppose. I didn't much care. I was used to it by then. being shoved aside, out of the way, ignored. It wasn't until a public event when Cassidy was about 5 years old that I finally laid eyes on the princess. And it was Caspian, older, too old for 5 years, and wearing a dress, but I knew his face.
She is your sister. It's not that strange that she might look a lot like Caspian.
Not similar in some way. The same face. Look at me. Do I have the same face Cass does?
Well, no.
No one else saw it. No one else knew him like I did. I didn't even question why he was there. All I knew was that my brother was alive. I ran up to him, calling his name. That was when my father hit me.
I remember that. That boy. That was you? They told me he was a thief who snuck in, and that he might have carried the pox. That was why they beat him.
Yes, you would remember the beating.
Your father beat you?
No, he had the guards take me away and teach me a lesson, once only. That I was wrong and a fool and a disgrace, and that I was never to go near Cassidy again.
I had no idea. I'm so sorry. So why would they do that to their youngest son? Why would they suddenly be like, we want a daughter? It's kind of weird. You have no need to be sorry. You didn't cause it. You wanted to see your brothers, remember? He turns back to Callum. Your parents treated you unfairly, that's clear, but it proves nothing. You made wild accusations in public, and they did not want the scandal. Considering what it's led to now, it seems they were correct that you would bring them grief. Caspian and Cassidy are different people. Cassidy was born before Caspian died. It's public record.
Yes, and for so long I couldn't understand it. I almost started to believe that I was wrong. Then it all became clear. Caspian and I were nothing to them. The infant Cassidy was the heir my parents had been longing for. I think that baby died, and my wise mother could bear no more children. There could be no further princess. And so I believe they chose to switch Cassidy for Caspian, and raise him as the heir of Guelinor.
So in this world, is it that the women inherit? And that's why it was important for them to have a princess? Because I think all his other siblings are male. And so when they finally had a girl and she died, they were like, well, shoot, what are we going to do?
They'd done it so well that even he doesn't remember who he really is. Cass, they kept you isolated so that no one would break the illusion, so that I couldn't tell you the truth.
He probably doesn't even know or wasn't even taught that as a female he shouldn't have certain body parts. You know, maybe that's what's going on, unless they did something drastic like castrate him or something. I don't know. I mean, it's the ancient times. Who knows? They might have done some crazy stuff.
So that I couldn't tell you the truth. Everything I've done was to get you out of their clutches so that you could be free. They stole your life. I'm here to give it back.
But There's one obvious problem with this whole story. Caspian was a boy. Cassidy is a girl. You are, aren't you? Of course I am. You can't simply put a dress on a boy and call him a girl. It wouldn't work. Oh boy. Oh. Well, this game, some touchy subjects here.
Bind a living thing tightly enough and its growth can be stunted.
He looks at his sister and his voice takes on a hesitant tone.
They've kept you so isolated. I have to ask, do you know what is different between a man and a woman?
I was wondering. But like, okay. Let's say now here they're doing this whole thing with Princess Cassidy supposed to be getting married. How are they freaking gonna explain that to her future husband? Unless they were just gonna force him into silence? And then what? Then she can't produce heirs for him if she's not a biological woman, so What's in it for him? Maybe they promise money? I don't know. Interesting.
Men explore and conquer. Women nurture and defend. Not what I meant.
What I think he's trying to say is that men's bodies are different from women's bodies. Oh boy.
Yes, that's why women wear gowns.
That's true. Not really. But it's more a question of what's under the gown. Have you ever seen men and women unclothed?
What?
You can't ask a lady a question like that.
She can, being a lady herself. Of course I haven't. It wouldn't be proper.
In paintings or statues, perhaps? Books of engravings?
I would never look at such things.
Not even Sylvia de Gosser's The Myriad Ways. It's very famous.
Convenient, isn't it, that they've sheltered their princess so profoundly.
There's nothing unusual about a princess being modest.
Yes, but so much so that she can't even grasp the point of what we're asking.
What point? Oh, Dolores. Oh, for soil's sake! I also find it funny, by the way. I told you I did not rewatch the previous streams before I started recording this game again. Would you believe I gave Dolores pretty much the same freaking accent that I did the first time? How did I remember to do her accent and I forgot Oscar's? That's just really funny. We turn to discover that Dolores is apparently no longer unconscious. Still bound, she twists herself part upright to speak. Of course she's gonna say it in that way. They're trying to find out if you've a tail in front.
A what?
How long have you been listening?
Long enough, Lady Locky. I should have shut your mouth permanently.
Oh, and then who'd you have to take the task that your noble hands are too pure to carry? If none of you have the eggs, I'll lift her skirts and see if she's got 'em.
What?
Oh my gosh. No one is lifting any skirts. If that page tried to put her hand under my skirt, she would pull back a bleeding stump. It isn't necessary. There are other signs. I am, after all, supposed to be trained to observe. I set my preconceptions aside and examine Cassidy closely. Does she have a Adam's apple or whatever? She has a slim figure and a narrow waist. Her bosom, while quite modestly endowed, has a feminine shape to it. That much could be achieved by a slender dandy in a corset, but other features are far more difficult to alter. Look at her hands. She has long and graceful arms, but small hands. Men's hands are larger in relation. The yowie hands! It's true. Looking at Callum and Oscar, their hands are pretty big. Her chin is smooth and soft and has no hair, and her throat lacks the male bulge. And her voice... That is your natural voice, isn't it? You're not forcing yourself to speak in a high tone?
No.
You didn't have your voice mysteriously change a few years ago?
No.
Well, there you have it then. She's a woman.
I did tell you that.
She's blushing.
But you're Caspian. You have to be.
Oh.
Don't you remember me at all? The nursery, you and I. You used to stand on the window seat and point at things outside to make me tell you about them.
Was he wrong? Oh, that makes me so sad if he's wrong.
You liked to watch me fire a catapult or spin a top, because you couldn't make it go as fast. Your favorite toy was a stuffed cloth purple dragon. You used to sleep with it.
My favorite toy was a little blue bear that I carried around with me everywhere. I don't remember ever seeing a toy catapult, and I didn't enjoy spinning tops. Mostly, I liked dressing up my dolls and having them act out stories. She walks closer and lays her hand on Callum's arm. I'm sorry, but the truth is, Caspian is gone. I'm sorry. He sounds like he was a sweet little boy. I wish I'd known him. I wish I'd known any of you. I was always so lonely growing up.
So you're really Cassidy?
Oh, that's so sad. I really am. You can see the expression on Callum's face as he admits to himself, perhaps for the first time, that his baby brother is dead.
Then everything, it was all for nothing.
No. To his evident surprise, she wraps her arms around him, nestling her chin on his shoulder. Aw, yeah, you guys can still have a family relationship. It meant that we got to be together and talk to each other at last. Otherwise, we would still be strangers. Hug me back. Nobody ever hugs me.
Slowly, cautiously, Callum puts his arms around his sister.
Oh, oop, wrong voice, sorry. I don't know why our parents treated you so badly, or why they kept us apart, but it was wrong. But I'm an adult now. They can't lock me away. We can start over. Oh, she's so sweet. She steps away from him, still smiling. What you did because you loved your brother. That's not wrong. Yeah, really sweet. Now, since we're all loving and forgiving, how about you let me go?
You are going back to the castle to face trial. I ought to get rid of her right now. It would save trouble.
Because I can tell everyone that it was you who attacked Lady Fainting Blossom. Sure, you could kill me so I couldn't talk. But then you'd have to kill Miss Nosy and Prince Simple too, huh? What?
Was that your plan? Of course not.
My brother wouldn't do such a terrible thing. She's certainly loyal and forgiving, considering that she's more or less just met him and he kidnapped her. Okay, I'm trying to stay on Oscar's route, so I'm kind of concerned if I keep defending Callum. Which one is Oscar gonna be like? Is he gonna get mad if I defend Callum again? Dagnabbit. Can't my OT3 just stay in place without me having to be like only on one person's side? Ugh. I don't think Callum... I don't want to accuse him. But I feel like if I don't, that I'm gonna screw up Oscar's route. Ugh. This sucks. That's my problem with dating games, you guys. Sometimes the choices, like, don't feel right. You know, sometimes they're just pigeonholing you and you're like, I have to suck up to this person all the time just to get them to like me in the end. Alright. Let's... Dagnabbit. I don't know. I don't want to screw up with Oscar, but I also really didn't want to accuse Callum because that's bull. Of course he wasn't planning to kill us. It wouldn't make any sense. He's outnumbered. With 2 on 1, it would be much too likely for one of us to defeat him or escape. If Callum wanted to cover his tracks that way, the smart thing to do would have been to leave Oscar in the castle. Then he could kill Dolores, then kill me, then hide the bodies, and Oscar and Cassidy would never know what happened. I paused, realizing that everyone is staring at me. What?
Sometimes your mind works in strange ways.
At least he doesn't seem mad. He's blushing, actually.
I find her logic refreshing.
What were you planning to do with us then?
If Cassidy were Caspian and everything went as you planned. None of this is what I planned, ever since that creature put a stick in the wheel.
What wheel?
It's an expression.
Talha? Talja? Talha? Don't know what that means. Oh, forgive me, my lord. My years of letters must have slipped my mind again. There is another question. What would you have done with Caspian if she had been him?
Done whatever he wanted. I wanted to tell him about everything he'd missed growing up and help him find his own life again. Help him get out of the palace or prepare him to confront our parents if he wanted. It doesn't matter now.
No, it doesn't. We'll go home. We will talk to Mother and Father. This time they can't brush you aside. I won't let them. I will make them explain what they've done. You go, Cassidy. So you see, it will be all right. Only, could I have some water and something to eat?
Of course.
You didn't feed her? What was I supposed to feed her with? I didn't bring your royal kitchen. What did you eat? She laughs at me. I weren't hungry. I was going to be rich if I were light on my feet. If I made it, I could eat anything I wanted. If I didn't, well, it wouldn't matter, would it?
No, it won't.
Oscar, in the meantime, is still looking at Cassidy.
What happened to your shoes?
I think they're still in the palace. If she went through those tunnels without shoes, we need to wash her feet before any scratches turn foul. I don't mean to be trouble.
You aren't. Let's get back to the water. There's nothing more to do here.
We have, after all, succeeded in our quest. The princess is saved, and we are heroes. All is well. Chapter 4, The Betrayal. What time am I at? Oh, okay, perfect timing. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I guess I'm gonna leave the episode right here. Okay, it's still typing. Alright, so this will be end of episode 3, I guess. Episode 3. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. And until next time, have a nice day.